What's up, guys? Let me grab my water. So, I have something that I want to share with you guys. Big time. I'm going to wait a sec for some people to jump on real quick. If you can hear me, let me know. What's up, Emily? Hey. Hey, Zachary. So I wanted to share something with you guys. I've been going through a lot of shit. Hey, Michelle. So a lot of shit's been going on in my world. Just one thing after another. Life, you know how life goes, right? And then for those of you who saw, like yesterday, I had to put one of my dogs down, and I don't want to talk about that, so we're not going to go into it, but like, it just made me realize something about myself that I've changed over the past couple of months, and I really wanted to share it with you guys. So I have always had to be like the strong girl, right? Hey, Emily. Vulnerability was not an option for me. I never talked about hard times. I never talked about like having a bad day. I never talked about struggling. And since I've started my online business, I share a lot more about it. Last October, I went, and had a one-on-one day with with one of my coaches, and like, I've dug a lot deeper into that. And today, I came to the realization that, for example, okay, I wrote on here yesterday about how heartbroken I was. For anyone who's friends with me or who hasn't known me for years or followed me for a while, or even maybe, met me in real life, like, I carry myself a certain way, and I always have, because vulnerability was never something I allowed to happen. I had to be strong. I had to be in control. I had to be completely on top of my game all the time. And that's just what I did. And like, for example, I'm still completely on top of my game. Don't you worry about that. But, yesterday I was vulnerable with you guys. I actually allowed myself to cancel. I canceled the entire day yesterday, or the entire day today. I told my clients what was going on. I messaged my assistants and told them what was going on. And like, one of them was supposed to be at my house all day today. Like, I canceled everything because it's okay to have feelings and allow yourself to feel them. And that's something I never would do before. I'd be like, all right, shit hit the fan. Let's push through. Let's push through. Let's push through. And I'm not saying that you need to like sit here and go, oh, something bad happened to me. Let me not deal with it, or let me ride this like sad, poor, pitiful me wave for like 12 years. That's not what I mean. But you need to like I posted this morning, like, when your heart hurts, allow it to hurt. And that's something that's new to me, because yes, it hurt. And like, my very, very, very closest friends knew that, but only usually because they asked. Like, if they were like, hey, how are you? I would tell them what was going on. But other than that, I never let anybody see me hurt or be vulnerable. I never talked about it. And what I realize is that since I've stopped doing that, I'm a fucking better person. Meaning, I like feel better. I feel more connected with everyone that I speak to. I feel more open and lightweight. And I wanted to just kind of say that. And I didn't really necessarily have a lot of point to this, other than like the big shift that happened for me. I wanted to share with you guys. Hey, John. Hey, Mike. A couple months ago, I guess it's been a couple months now, I did something. We did this exercise where you stand like 6 inches apart from someone else and stare into their eyes for 5 minutes. So I did that with my friend Aaron, and at this event, who I know him, but like, it's not like I know him and see him every day. So it wasn't super comfortable, for me to do that. And during that moment, or it's 5 minutes, so moment is like an understatement. It's 5 minutes that you're standing there, not speaking, not moving, staring into another human being's eyes, right? Well, what I really realized was, and this goes for men and women, and I think a lot of us get really lost in that, and that's why I wanted to share this. But like, you don't have to stand in your power all the time. And in those 5 minutes, I released complete control of the power spot for the first time in I can't even tell you how long. Because I am like the mama bear. I take care of everybody. I have to be that person all the time. And I put that pressure on myself. And, you know, without even realizing it, quite honestly, I'm not complaining because I would just, that's how I've always been. That's how my mother is. That's how I was raised. But like the moment that I felt the power and like the control and like the, it was just a power shift from me to Aaron. I like could take a deep breath for the first time in fucking years. And I realized that today, like I realized that I've been allowing that to happen ever since, because it was a realization to me. I stood up in front of the room, you know, there was like almost 200 people in this room, and I stood up and I told them this, and I was like, I never let go of power. I always stand in the power seat, and I'm that girl. And, you know, my coach looked at me and he was like, yeah, no shit. See, I didn't even realize that I was doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like that was normal for me. So realizing that that is a deeper part of vulnerability, and that's okay, doesn't make me weak. It doesn't make me any less of a leader. It doesn't make me any less of a woman, any less of an anything, a coach, a professional, whatever. It's just fucking real life. And the more I pay attention to that, the more I realize it. And for what's funny about that, and the reason I wanted to share this with you guys, is because the more I realize that it's okay for me to be vulnerable and share that with all of you, especially, like share that publicly with everybody, the more I realize that I'm more connected with people. I'm more connected with my clients. I'm more connected with my friends, with my family members, with my boyfriend. Like everything is different. And I feel better. Me. Like I'm more connected with me since then. And it's just a really incredible thing. And like now I almost feel like it's my fucking responsibility to be vulnerable as much as I feel the need to be. And the reason is because, like, for example, I take my job and what I do really seriously. I take what I share with people really seriously. Like, I'm not about to put a bunch of nonsense and bullshit out into the world. I refuse. I will not speak out on things I'm not educated on. I will not speak out negatively. I will not be the person downing you or commanding you to do something or barking at you. None of that's constructive, and I absolutely refuse to ever be that person. And so, for example, my dog died, guys, you know, and I'm super sad. And today, like I was not good yesterday at all, yesterday afternoon and evening, you know, and today I knew that I just was going to be sad, and I needed to be sad. And so I canceled my day, you know, and I gave myself that moment to be sad, which is great. And again, like somebody wrote a minute ago, it's healthy. But here's the big underlining beauty of that. You need to pay attention to how your situation, your mood, your reactions, your emotions affect your job, your other people, things like that. I cannot serve you if I am in a low vibe. I cannot serve my clients if I am in a low vibe. I cannot serve my paid group if I am in a low vibe. I cannot get in there and be like, hey guys, I'm fucking crying right now. Which, I mean, I could, and they're super supportive and it's great. But like, it wasn't like, okay, I'm upset, but I'm going to get over it in a minute. Like, I just didn't really have any energy to speak to people today. So that's okay. But that's also me respecting them and you guys. Like, I'm not about to get and give you some false shit. I'm not going to pretend like I'm okay and provide you false shit. I just saw something the other day. Like, you can Photoshop a picture, but you can't Photoshop your vibe. Like, you can fake it till you make it all day long, but you can't fake your vibe. Your vibe is your vibe, and that's it. And I refuse to deliver anything else but high, real shit to you guys. Like, I'm not pretending when I'm on here and I'm like hyper and excited and on a rant. Like, I didn't just act that out and write it down. Oh, I can't wait to get on live stream and talk about this. I just jump on and talk to you guys. So it's like super important to me that everybody understands that vulnerability can mean a lot of different things. And like, by acknowledging that, not only are you respecting yourself, but you're respecting the people in your space. So like, by me acknowledging that today and taking the time I needed, I'm respecting the people in my space just as much as I'm respecting myself, because you guys don't need to hear, I don't want to give you bad shit. I don't want to pretend to be happy and fantastic and get into my, like, I had a group call today. I could have gone in there and been super robotic and super, fake about it, but I refuse to do that. So by serving myself, I'm also respecting and serving everyone else. So that is the lesson there. And that's something I was driving today and I thought about, and I thought it was just something share worthy, obviously. And it's just something that I needed to say for myself, quite honestly, because it's one of those things where we all need to look at the big, like, look outside of what's beyond our nose and really realize what we can do and how we're showing up. Like, you get to choose how you show up. And, some people want to be fake about it, and some people want to put on a show and put on the perfection persona. Do I look like I'm trying to be perfection right now? Like, no. This is me sitting in my bed talking to you about what's going on in my life. Point blank, end of story. Like, I have a big giant band-aid on my finger because I cut my finger open. Like, it's real. But people want to get caught into that perfection thing. That's their deal. You get to choose how you show up. I choose not to show up that way for you. I choose not to show up that way for me. I choose not to show up that way for my clients. And that's just a responsibility that I take super seriously. Sorry, people are saying stuff. Let's see. Vulnerability is beautiful and people connect and love a real person, not a robot. Glad you're honest. Thanks, Melissa. Michael, it's like a reset button. It really is. It was a necessary reset button today. It takes a lot of effort for me to give off an easygoing vibe, I guess. Well, John, then you shouldn't have to put a ton of effort into if you're not easygoing, you don't have to be easygoing. I have a friend who's super high strung all the time, and that's just who she is naturally. Just own it. You don't, like, I really am, those of you who have met me in person or had a conversation with me on the phone or whatever, like, I really am exactly the fucking way that I am when I'm on live stream. Like, it's not a show. Like, this is just me. And it's exhausting. Just like I've talked to you guys before about, like, telling lies is exhausting. Like, it's exhausting to try to put up a different vibe than you were naturally putting out there. Like, try to put out try to fabricate whatever vibe you think you should put out there. Like, no, you're you. Like, be you. And you get to choose how you show up. You know what I mean? You get to choose if you're showing up as a perfectionist, fucking my life is perfect person. That's your choice. Like, I don't recommend that you choose to do that because that's exhausting and eventually you're not going to be able to keep it up anymore. But it's your choice if you want to show up that way. However you choose to do it is your deal. But that comes down to vulnerability and that all too, overused word of authenticity too. Oh, what, John? I do own it. It's just annoying to hear you're not an approachable person every day, but I'm just me. John, if I had $1 for every time I was told I'm not an approachable person, seriously, fuck them. Fuck them. You are super approachable. Most people probably don't think you're approachable because you're huge. And you don't realize that you're huge, John. Like, you're massive. And you have no idea. Like, that's the best part. So, that might be why. But you have a giant smile on your face, like, all the time. So, if somebody's not approaching you and saying you're not approachable, that's their problem, not yours. And that's the thing you have to think about. Like, if people don't want to approach me, that's not my insecurities. That's their insecurities. So I'm not going to alter my vibe because they're uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Natural resting bitch face. What up, girl? Hey, Jim. Seriously, John, it's true. Like, I'm told, if anybody that was at the live event where you were at, I can tell you, like, you're a big man. Like, you are just, you walk in, and I'm sure people probably are intimidated by that. And whatever, that's their problem. It's not yours. So you don't need to worry about switching your vibe around. Just be you. You know, screw it. Like I said, I hear all the time, oh, you're not approachable. Or you're intimidating. Okay. I'm sorry. Like, I'm really super nice. Like, I'll talk to anybody all day long. I don't really know what to do with that. Like, I don't know what to do with that. So, again, like, that comes down to their insecurities. Just like when people talk shit on you or make fun of you or whatever, like, typically that is their deal. Like, that's their insecurities, not yours. That's not, I mean, but again, you get to choose. Like, if you want to try to be like a easygoing guy because of other people, that's your call, you know? Jim John, you have some pythons for arms. No shit though. I mean, it's true. You don't even know it. And that's the best part. God love you. You have no idea that you're huge. But here's the thing, like, that's the beauty of it all. That's what makes people who we are. Like, that's the whole beauty of vulnerability. Like, being who you are is who you are. And I was always showed up as myself, don't get me wrong. But like, when I was sad or I was hurt about something, I didn't show it ever. Because that's not what, I mean, I've been through a lot of shit, guys, quite honestly. A lot of shit. And so my way of dealing with that and being the strong girl was to be the strong girl. Put up the front, push on through, deal with it, move forward. But I only showed a very few people my feelings like that. My other than, like, I was either in, like, determination mode all the time, or I was in, like, hey, I'm good, I'm chill, let's do this kind of thing. But when I was sad or upset, like, I didn't ever tell anybody about that. And I'm not saying that you need to, like, cry on live streams and be like, oh my god, my life is terrible. Like, please don't do that. That's not productive. But if you have a day, have a day. Like, take your day. Me taking the day today was the best thing I could have ever done, because let me explain something to you. I'm sad, and that's okay. The world isn't ending. I'm going to push forward. I still did a little work today. You know, obviously I can't completely go away, but I really did just go to my parents' house and spend time with them, because they're just as sad about my dog as I am. And so I allowed myself that day. But here's why. And here's why that was a smart decision. Because I have shit to do every single other day. I have shit to do. Oh, there's Aaron. You missed it, Aaron. I told our eyeball staring story. You missed it. Aaron's that just jumped on. Whose eyeballs I stared into. He took all, let me release the power thing. But anyway, by me taking the day today and allowing myself to have that moment to deal with it, like, I'll jump back in tomorrow and be able to give 100% to every single person that depends on me. I'll be able to give 100% to everybody that needs me. Like, I take that responsibility really, really seriously. So being able to pop up and be like, hey guys, like, I can't do the call today. I can't do this call today. I'm going to take the day. I'll talk to you guys all tomorrow. Is everything good? Cool. Great. Grand. I'll see you tomorrow. Was me giving myself the time and space I needed so that I can be 100% the rest of the week. How many times have you had something happen and you just refuse to deal with it, and then a week later, 3 days later, whatever, it then all comes bubbling up to the surface? It all comes out in the wash, but it will all bubble up to the surface eventually. So why would you put yourself in that position? You know what I mean? Like, why would you do that? So you can be shitty for like 6 days because deep down inside you were like, fuck, I'm sad or I'm angry or whatever. Like, that makes zero sense. It makes no sense. Aaron, I love you too. Next event, there needs to be a lift off. Oh, Jesus, you guys. I'll bring Tony. You guys can all lift off together. Craziness. But anyway, like, that was really the big thing there. You and my ex should have a conversation. Okay. Bring it on. I'm down. You know how many guys are like, you should talk to my wife? And I'm like, okay, cool. Get her on the phone. I'm down. Get her in my freaking group. That's where us little badass women have these conversations every single day. It's pretty exciting. Christine, I'm so incredibly fucking proud of you. Thank you, ma'am. I love you too. You're awesome. It's fun. Like the best part of growing and expanding and building a business and building your personal everything is watching and observing and paying attention to the changes that are made. You know what I'm saying? Like, so many people go through life and they're doing so many things and they don't pay attention at all around them. But the biggest thing that they don't pay attention to is the changes that are happening within them. The changes that they're having. You know, like, if I wasn't paying attention to the changes and the like growth that's going on in my own personal life as I'm expanding as a business owner, as a woman, as a human being, mindset-wise, intelligence-wise, education, my body, my eating, everything. If I wasn't paying attention to all of those things, this journey wouldn't be so damn exciting, quite honestly, and I wouldn't be able to continue to help people and continue to help them in a whole nother world. You know what I mean? Like, I help people in a whole nother way every single time, or every day. It expands and evolves, and you know, people come in, and I believe that everybody that connects with me does so for a reason, and like, it's universal shit, and it's meant to happen, and it is what it is. But like, if I wasn't paying attention to the things that were happening in my evolution, then I would not be able to help you. You know what I'm saying? Does this make sense? Like, if that's the problem. Most people do these things and go through all these situations, but they're not paying attention to how it's changing them or affecting them. That's what's most important. It doesn't fucking matter how it's changing him or him or him. That doesn't matter. It matters how it's changing you. What's this say? Erin, I get to talk to you tomorrow. So there's that. It's true, honey. I'm excited to talk to you tomorrow. Oh gosh, you guys are so funny. Christine, I am already a badass. I'm just kidding. I'm just totally kidding. I really am, though. It's true. But I'm training to be strong, which is exciting. And I'm super strong. And me and my trainer just had this conversation today. And it's like insanity in my body. I like told him I took a picture the other day. And I was like, I don't even know who that girl is. I like looked in the mirror at me in a swimsuit and was like, who the fuck is that? Like, that's amazing. Like, oh my God. That doesn't even look like me. Like, you can see serious separation between my quads and my hamstrings. And I wasn't even flexing. Anyway, that's a totally another topic. But I was like, what is happening? So excited. But that, I mean, here's another prime example. Like, pay attention to the changes that are happening to you. Pay attention to how you're growing as a human. Like, that's the whole point of why we do what we do, right? So why would you just go through the motions? Like, why would you just be like, well, I'm going to do this again today. I hope it works. Like, no, pay attention. Like, is it working? Is it not working? How is it affecting you? How is it changing you? Is it making you worse? Is it making you better? Like, that's the whole point of what we do, like, as human beings. Thank you, Jim. I've always had the strong mind part down. That's for sure. Now just getting, what's cool about the statement you just made is that being strong-minded is an amazing quality, and I've always been lucky enough to have that. But something that I think is really, really interesting about the journey that I've been on over the past year is I took 1 year completely business related, obviously, and then like the last year I've been like super focused on the mindset of myself and like my personal growth. And what I've learned is that strength of mind, that super strong-minded person that I was, it just keeps getting stronger the more that I peel back the layers of like vulnerability and authenticity and not giving a shit what anybody has to say and sharing like whatever the hell I choose to pops in my head talk about that day, you know, and like sharing parts of my life with you guys and with the public and stuff like that. That matters to me. Like, I don't know if you guys realize the whole point. Like, it is changing me as a human, and it's an insane blessing to be able to reach people and to be able to make them understand that they're not alone, or to express yourself in that manner is, and be able to help people in the process is like incredible. And like I said, I take that really, really seriously, and I know how truly blessed I am. And like, seriously, like yesterday I posted about my dog, right? Now, a lot of people personally knew him, which is really strange because I know he's not a human, but he practically was a human, and a lot of people knew him. So a lot of people that were like sending me messages and stuff had personally met him and like truly knew him as a dog and like miss him. But the amount of people who messaged me, called me, texted me, I mean, I was just blown away. And I just literally am so grateful for every one of you. Like, you guys are freaking amazing. I just can't even, like, I was crying because I was sad, but I was also crying because I was so touched that, like, people took time out of their day to care about me and my animals. Like, you know, it was just really, really cool. Oh, let's see. Sorry. Love it. Have to go. Aaron, so funny. We're going to get Aaron organized, and it's going to be awesome. He's already taking over the world. Imagine him being organized. He's going to dominate. It's going to be insane. Just saying. That's what I mean when I say all the answers are in front of us. Absolutely, Michael. They are. The answers are completely in front of us. We just have to open our fucking eyes. Like, how many times did things happen that we don't even pay attention to? So, like, we're losing out on our own lessons because we're not paying attention. Like, all I talk about is the lesson from every situation I've ever encountered, and like, I share that with everyone. One of my very best friends happens to also be one of my clients, and I share, like, her and I share stories. So we have business calls, and then we have personal calls, and we share stories, and like, in every single story I point out the lesson that I learned or the observation that I took away from it based upon what happened. And like, that in itself is education, and it's amazing. And like, hey, there she is, Catherine, I was just talking about you. And now I've gotten her to the point where, like, when she tells me like a story or a scenario that happens in her life, she's doing the same thing. She's going to the exact same level where she's like, hey, so here's the lesson that I learned from it. Or what do you take away from this? Because this is how I saw it. So it's kind of nice, because the more that you start to do that for yourself, and you realize that every scenario and every reaction someone gives you and every reaction you give, every single situation that you are in is a lesson. Every single one of those things is a lesson. And the next time that a situation like that presents itself to you, you're going to think twice before you go and make the same decision again. Or you're going to make the same decision again because you liked the outcome of last time. You know what I'm saying? Like, people tell me the definition of insanity, right? What is that? You make the same thing over and over and over again and expect a different result. Well, here's the beauty of it. Pay the fuck attention to what's going on in your life, ladies and gentlemen. And if then the situation presents itself to you again, and you then make another decision, oh, imagine that. It's crazy, right? Oh, wow. Like, insanity here. Make a different decision, make a different choice than the one you keep making that keeps driving you down the shitty road that you hate. Oh, light bulb. You make a different decision, you get a different result. End of story. Michael Rudge, you on here? Be present. Pay attention. Make a different decision. There's that. Hey, Jim and Ryan, thank you guys for your condolences. You're very sweet. That's what I love about it. Yeah, Michael. Going to use your words the next time someone calls me an intimidating person. John. Yeah, do it. Be like, I'm sorry. I'm really not. I'm super nice. That's what I always tell. I'm super nice. Like, I talk to everybody, and they just look at me. Because I used to apologize. John, super lesson learned here. Super lesson learned. So I used to apologize for everything. I wrote a post about this not too long ago. I used to, oh, I'm so sorry. I'd make someone else uncomfortable. Oh, I'm so sorry. No. No, I'm not sorry, actually. I am not sorry. If my presence intimidates you, I am sorry. Or I am not sorry. Jesus Christ, I can't even talk. I'm not. Like, but I would say that because it was the natural thing for me to do, because also I'm a people pleaser by nature. And when I got to the point where I was no longer apologizing for nothing, it really helped. So, you know, in that scenario when someone's like, oh, you're super intimidating, well, I am actually really nice. Like, I'm not sure why you feel that way. You know, another thing that I stopped doing was a lot of when people apologize to you, when people do something fucked up or they mess up and they apologize, I'm so sorry, I'm so sorry. What I say when they do that, if it really was not good and it was really terrible and hurtful and they blatantly were rude to you and terrible, I don't say, oh, that's okay. Because everyone's like, oh, that's okay. Oh, you can't control your own words and you called me a fucking bitch and then now you're going to apologize to me. That's not okay, actually. So I'm not going to tell you that it's okay and make you feel better about yourself. I'm not going to tell you that I don't accept your apology either. I'll tell you I accept your apology and I understand and I appreciate you apologizing. That's what I will say. I will no longer tell people that things are okay when they're not. Like, I hate that. People, and I used to do that too, and to me that's just as bad as apologizing for no reason. When you're like, oh, it's okay, because it's not okay. You made a bad choice as a human being and you blatantly decided to disrespect me and try to hurt me. That is not okay, and I'm not going to tell you that it's okay so you can feel better about yourself. That's not my job. My job is to say, I appreciate you apologizing. Thank you. Done. End of story. Like, I know that makes me sound like a bitch, but what that actually makes me sound like is a strong human being who isn't going to coddle people around her, but instead lift them up. Tell them the truth. You don't have to be an asshole to tell the truth. Like, you don't have to tell the truth. It doesn't make you an asshole. Fuck yes, so much growth. You're an amazing teacher. Oh, I love you, Catherine. You're so sweet. Dude, I would get told all the time that I apologize too much for nothing. John, I'm holding you to this. Okay? Stop apologizing. Because you did it even in a conversation with me when you were telling me about a situation going on through Facebook Messenger. Think back about that. You made excuses or apologized for your behavior throughout that whole story and you didn't have anything to apologize for. Michael, isn't that the damn truth? We really are programmed to apologize, which is freaking ridiculous. What are we sorry for? Nothing. What are we sorry for? Obviously, there are times to apologize. Don't get me wrong. There are times where you need to step up and say, yep, I fucked up and I'm sorry. Absolutely. But don't expect when you say you're sorry to somebody that you're saying that because you truly mean it. Don't be saying it just because you're trying to make yourself feel better, because that's pointless. And that's not real. And that's not helping anybody. That's another big thing for me in my life. I'm don't apologize to me just because you feel like you should. If you're not really sorry for what you said, then don't apologize. You know? It's big. But I love how the subject of vulnerability and me talking about that can branch into this. It's my favorite thing. I can let you guys in on a little secret. Right. Michael, the word sorry doesn't even mean anything anymore, quite honestly. What does that mean? People say it so frequently that they don't even, there's no sincerity behind it. So what the hell is the point? You know, there's so many words like that, unfortunately, that have just become such a normal part of what we say, where we don't even mean that. We don't even mean it. So why are we saying it? You know, it's again, it's a society thing and what we've been programmed to do and say, which is unfortunate, but I'm working really hard to, shine the light on those things that we've been programmed to do and say so people can stop. Michael, I was totally just thinking the same word, dude. I was just thinking this same thing. We are on the same wavelength. People say love. Oh my God, I love that. Do you though? Do you really love it? See, and I am guilty of that and I try to pay really close attention. My boyfriend calls me out on it all the time. He's like, quit saying I love you every 2 seconds. He's like, I believe that you love me, but it doesn't mean as much to me if you're saying it constant, at the end of every phone call. We talk 20 times a day. You know what I mean? So it's hard, but it's true. Like, love means something. So when you say it, there should be meaning and sincerity behind it. Not just saying it because you're supposed to, you know? The box of society tells you that you need to stay in, and we are taught to stay in. Oh, I know, my Lord. So much personal frustration that keeps up from leveling up until we decide to break out. So many boxes, Ryan. And the deeper that you go into your journey, the more boxes that you realize that you didn't even freaking know were stacked somewhere inside of you. I am so not even kidding you. I never saw myself as a person that's fit inside of a box, because I've always been a little random and whatever. But like, the deeper that I go into my journey, the deeper I dive into everything about myself and like shine the freaking light in the dusty, dirty corners of my past, my existence, my soul, everything, the more I realize the programming runs really deep. Really deep. Like what you should and shouldn't do, what you were told as a child. Like, I've done a lot of work around reprogramming the things that I was told I needed to do or needed to be or needed to act or whatever. You know, it's insane. Like, the more that you do it and the more that you dive deeper, the more you realize how many boxes are there that you didn't even realize. So like, don't be surprised as you continue to like get outside of the box and dive deeper into your mindset work and like your personal stuff. Like, the more you realize how many boxes you really were put in and you didn't even know it. And don't get discouraged, because we all do it. Like, every single person, we're all at different parts of our journey, right? But like, don't stop, because you continue diving into that stuff. And that's like, it's freaking mind-blowing. Like, Michael, yes, it is one of the hardest things to do. And it's mind-blowing. Seriously. It's like mind-bending the more you realize. Like, okay, perfect example. The day I wrote the post about when I moved out of my boyfriend's house, because I wasn't sure about the baby thing, and I wanted to make my own decision. Okay. The day I wrote that, I was literally washing my dishes, and randomly, I had just gotten home from the gym. For some weird reason, it popped into my head. I literally turned the water off, dried my hands, grabbed my laptop, and wrote that out. And while I was writing that, I put two and two together. I had realized before, around Christmas, me and my boyfriend had gotten into a big fight. And I was like, what is the deal? Like, why are you still acting? Like, he was kind of acting like almost like he was disposable to me or something. I'm going to get real deep here for a sec. Here's the truth behind the curtain, ladies and gentlemen. So anyway, he was acting like I was treating him like he was disposable or something. And I was like, where are you getting this from? Like, where is this coming from? And he was like, you still talk about all the time. You tell me that you're not sure that you want to have kids, and that it might not be a really important thing for you, that you might be cool without having them, that you're not sure. Because I really do feel that way. He's like, but when we see kids or whatever, you'll still make comments like, oh, when I have kids, or when I'm a mom, or when I'm this. And I literally was like, oh, damn. When he said that, I like stopped and I was like, oh shit, I am doing that. Like, fuck. Like, I am doing that. I didn't even realize it. Like, I hope you're still on, Ryan, because this is like a huge lesson. I didn't even realize I was doing it. And I am very, very aware of the words that I'm speaking, and really conscious and really present, like 99% of the time. So that's how deep this shit runs. It's freaking crazy, because I didn't even think about it. And since then, since he brought it to my attention, I have stopped doing that, because I truly do not want a child right now. And I truly am pretty positive that I may not ever want one. I don't know. But I also feel like I don't need to make that decision right now. And what I realized in that moment when he said that, and I was like, I literally stopped talking for like 10 minutes. And I was like, Tony, like, you have got to be kidding me. He's like, what do you mean? I said, I was told my entire life, you get married, you have kids, you get a house. You get married, you have kids, you have a house. You get married, you have kids, you have a house, right? Like, my whole life. And a lot of women go through this. And I've dissected it since Christmas. I've dissected this situation. I've watched other people, and I've had conversations with other people about this. And like, literally 29, not engaged, not married. It hit me at 25. 25, not married, not engaged. Like, pile of bricks on my chest. And I had to tell myself at that time, this is a box someone puts you in. You do not have to live up to that. It is your choice. You get to choose what you want. You're only 25, no big deal, right? So then at 29, here I am sitting in this same situation where I'm like, oh, I'm glad you're still here, Ryan. And yes, Michael, so here's the big background story behind this. So what I realized is that I had been told my entire life that I should be a mom. You would be such a great mom. I would be a great mom. That's the damn truth, and I know it. I mother every human being around me if they will allow me to. Seriously, I will mother the shit out of you, like all day long. It is just in nature. It is in my nature. It is just something about me. I'm an extremely nurturing human being, and I want to care for everyone. But just because I would be a good mom doesn't mean that I have to be a mom. Just because I was told what you're supposed to do as a woman is get married and have children doesn't mean that that's what I have to do. I'm not saying that I won't do that someday. I don't know. I'm saying I'm not going to make that decision right now. But that's an example of a deep down, dark, sneaky box that still existed that I didn't even know about. Like I didn't even realize, you know? No, Michael, it's not that I am not ready because I haven't gotten out of the box. I'm not ready because I don't want them. And that may change someday. My mind may change, but right now I have no desire. No desire to have children in my house. I didn't want to say in my space because I'm okay with like, I love kids. I love them. I love my nieces and nephews. My best friend's children's are like, or children's, that's not correct English, but anyway, are like my nieces and nephews to me. So I have an abundance of children around me all the time. I love them. I'm actually spending tomorrow afternoon at an orphanage with a friend of mine to kind of give back some time with them. But like, I love them, but I don't want them in my house. Like at all. I like my four-legged children. I love them as if they are human beings, probably more than some, unfortunately, some two-legged children are loved. And that's sad. It makes me sad. I think everybody deserves to be loved. But like a friend of mine yesterday, I said, thank you so much for understanding. Because I was like devastated yesterday. My oldest dog died. And I said, thank you so much for understanding. Most people would probably think this was weird. And she was like, Jamie, you love those dogs more than most people love two-legged children. And I was like, thank you for realizing that because it is the truth. Like, they're human. So, yeah, it was that realization when I like realized, holy crap, this sneaky little situation was still in my head. You know, it's crazy how many things stick around based upon your environment, based upon what you were brought up around, you know, and like my mom is like the epitome of like my parents, if you look up the dictionary of like what a good father is and like what a good mother is, their pictures should just be there because that's what they are. So like, and they got married super young and they have an amazing relationship. They've been married forever, blah, 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 blah. So like all of the odds of my brain telling me that I had to do this at this age and be this way, all of that it makes perfect sense why I would think that I had to do all of these things, right? But like the more I realize that I don't have to do anything, the better off that I am, because it's like, it's incredible. It's and that's how you dig a little deeper. Like people talk about money mindset. Ooh, I got a story about that. That's really long, so I'm not going to go into it right now. But I paid someone to help me figure out why I had such a negative feeling around money. And we drove it all the way back to 6-year-old Jamie watching and listening. So, Ryan, remember that when you're doing your you know, as you're digging deep and continue moving forward, just don't stop. Like, keep going. You know, keep digging. Keep digging and keep digging. What am I looking at here? The video challenge questions taught me a lot about that, the things that stick with you. Didn't share it on video because it's too new. And I don't know how to articulate that. John, so just do it. I've had many conversations with you. We sat at coffee, we had a lot of talks, and you articulate just fine. You got your point across to me. You told me stories about people I had never met or heard of before in my entire life, and I followed along with the entire story that you told me. Like, I know exactly who you were talking about. I know exactly what you were talking about. I followed just fine. So you're being too hard on yourself. Just saying. Michael, my parents are high school sweethearts. I know exactly what you're talking about here. Yep. Isn't that funny? Well, you're 20 and you're not married yet. I'm like, what? Wow. But that, and it's the truth. I look back and I was 18 and in a relationship with a guy who I could have made my husband. Everyone thought I should. Half my family didn't talk to me for a year, 6 months when I broke up with him. But he was mean to me. He wasn't what I wanted in a relationship long term. He's not a bad person. I'm not saying he's a bad man, because he's not. He's a great man. He's a great heart, but not what I wanted. And that's just the truth. But for a hot minute there, I'm going to marry him. I'm 18. 18-year-olds marry who they're dating right now because that's what my parents did. Right? Right. And that's what I told myself, because that's what I had been told my whole life. Now, could you imagine? I mean, I'd be raising a bunch of children by my freaking self right now if that was the case. I just know that. It is what it is, Like, because I would have fallen really hard right into that trap. Like, big time. I would have fallen right into that box that I was supposed to be in. So, I was heading down that path. John, I'm going to do it. Need to write out a bit of a script, though. When I get emotional, I turn into a blubbering idiot. You should not write out a script. I used to. I will tell you. I did used to write. Like, when I first started with my online business and sharing and doing videos and stuff like that, I would write down, like, some key points. Don't write a script. If you're going to, like, if there's certain things that you want to make sure that you touch on, you can write them down. But if you write out a script, it's going to screw you up. It really is. It's going to fuck you up. It's not going to come out authentic. Then you're going to sound like a blubbering idiot. Just saying. Or you're going to sound like a president giving a speech that someone else wrote. We don't want that. Michael, just say it. Seriously, I know how scary it is. It's not easy. I got on social media and talked about being, like, abused in a video. It's not easy. Like, none of it's ever easy to talk about. You just spill it. You just gotta spill it. Outlines fuck me up every time. I mean, they do now. For me, I can't write shit down. Like, if I'm doing a teaching call, like in my group, I'll do certain topics we're going to talk about. I'll write down some bullet points to make sure I touch every topic. But, like, I maybe have 4 bullet points and I talk for an hour because I'm giving all of the information that I need to give, the stories and the lessons and stuff involved. But, like, I get a lot of questions, quite honestly. I get a lot of questions in my inbox from people, especially from the Lion's Den, actually, ironically enough, that will say, how do you document or how do you prepare your content? Like, do you use a scheduler? And I'm like, well, I do for, like, memes and to redistribute my blogs, but that's it. I'm like, what do you mean? I'm like, I don't, like, there are a lot of people who schedule out what they're going to say, what topic they're going to have this week, what they're going to write about this week, and, like, they pre-plan everything. That's not how I run my business. That's not how I run my life. I am intuitive. I am emotional in a good way. I fly off of what vibes I'm getting from people, what conversations I'm having with my clients, what questions I'm getting from random people, what situations are happening in my life. Like, that is the best shit, John. That is the best shit to share. When what you're talking about sharing strikes up in your head, stop whatever you're doing, open your phone and record. Seriously. Done. Post and puke. Hit post, out. I know it's scary. Hit post, turn your phone off. Walk away. Post and puke is a great method to get over being scared of talking on camera or actually posting. A lot of people record videos and just never post them. But that's what I do. I just truly cannot, and it takes practice, I think. I think it takes a ton of practice. Like, if you look back at my original videos, they didn't suck, but they're not as good as what I do now. I wasn't as, like, normal as I am now. But, yeah, Michael, do post and puke. It's so fun. I still do. So Catherine, I don't know if she's still here, but, like, I still will write or say things that make me really uncomfortable and, like, make me really, like, scared to share. And I'm like, oh my God. And I hit the button. I'm like, I'm out. No. Like, I'll send her a message. Oh, geez, I just shared something so fucked up. Like, she's like, what? I'm like, it just flowed out of me. I couldn't help it. I had to write it, and I wrote it, and I hit send. And I'm like, ah. So everybody has those moments. Everybody. I don't care who the fuck you are. Doesn't matter. 100% just hit send. If it came into your head and flowed out of you, like to write it or to video it, there's a reason. There's a reason that it came into your head. If you're having to think really, really hard about what to write or what to say, don't make a video. Don't post. Like, because it's not going to be quality. It's not going to be real. We get enough fake shit in our brains and in front of our faces every single day. For real. So, anyway, I don't even know what time it is. I think I've been talking for like an hour. Oh yeah, for sure I have. That's great. But thank you guys for the great conversation. You guys are amazing. Does anybody have anything they want to talk about or say? Otherwise, I'm just going to get off and go eat something. I need to finish this water. This is the last of my gallon for the day. I'm doing so good on my gallon of water a day challenge, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, Michael. It's been great conversation. I've been seeing your posts lately, by the way. I'm loving it. Good shit. It's different, I feel like. Thank you, Emily. Oh, Emily, so I have podcast news. We are figuring out the best way to record everything and distribute it. So, it'll be happening soon. Because, like, this, I don't typically, you're not supposed to do super long live streams because of whatever reason, but, like, these are the kind of conversations that I will be having on podcast interviews. Sometimes I'll have people with me. Sometimes it might just be myself. My beautiful friend Catherine and I we were having a conversation one day, and it was, like, epic. And I'm like, why are we not recording this? Like, it was amazing. And that's when we came to the conclusion that we need to start a podcast. And then I had, like, 6 people ask me literally in 1 week why I don't have a podcast. And I'm like, well, I just don't really feel like dealing with it. That's the truth. Like, I have so much other shit going on, I just don't even feel like dealing with it. But then I was like, you know what? Let me see how easily we can make it happen. And so I gave the assignment to my assistant, and she's working on it. I'm like, I have a team of people for a reason. I have 2 amazing assistants that support me, and there's no reason not to have them support me. So there's that. But yeah, Emily, I'm super excited too, because I love having these kinds of conversations, and I wish I could talk to every freaking one of you all the time, quite honestly, because it's great. Like, this is the reason that I do what I do. Like, I love these conversations and going back and forth and having enlightened convos. Like, it's awesome. It's super fun. Michael, you're getting more and more comfortable. The more that you do it, you will get comfortable, but you'll still, like we were talking about earlier with the boxes, like, you'll still get super uncomfortable. You'll still get really uncomfortable. A friend of mine has been doing this for, like, 7 years. She's been running her own online business for 7 years, her own business for 11 years. And she still will post shit and be like, oh my God, like, oh damn. And she's really outspoken and super aggressive, kind of, but in a good way. And she still gets really uncomfortable sometimes with the things that she shares. Post and puke! It's real. It's a real thing. I'm working late and it's super slow, so this has been really enjoyable. Well, stay safe. John. And congrats on signing another contract with the Marines. That's awesome. Thank you for your service, Mr. Much appreciated. I have like a seriously strange connection with all military human beings. Like, it's crazy. They like flock to me for friendship. A couple of them I've dated. Don't get me wrong. But like, I have some people across the world that I have spoken to on a regular basis for years that are in the military. Because, like, for some reason, I just have, like, this insane connection with them, which is awesome. I was raised really patriotic. Like, my parents are really patriotic. My dad has a flagpole in the front yard. He puts an American flag on every single vehicle. He refuses to purchase anything that's not made in America. Like, it's a big deal. So I think that might be part of it. We need to figure out how to multiple screen conversations at the same time. What do you mean, Michael? You can do that on Zoom. Like, to where we can all chat together? Is that what you mean? You're welcome, John. Yeah, you can do it on Zoom. But, like, I was trying to say something and I saw John's comment and it made me laugh. It made me LOL. You're tough. Not a hipster. And you're I am not a hipster. That's true. I have the strangest style of life. Like, one day I look like a preppy kid. One day I'm super business. One day I'm like stylish as shit. And the next day I'm like grunge. But most of the time it's yoga pants and sports bras. Nowadays I've turned into a gym rat. It's bad. But I buy really cute workout clothes, so that's okay, right? Right. Can anyone see each other? I don't know that. So in Zoom, you can. So in Zoom, you can have, like, depending on what level of, like, user account you have, you can have, I think it's up to, like, 25 faces showing at the same time. So it can be confusing, and you have to be, like, obviously pretty respectful of each other, so that you're not overlapping talking. But what happens is like, you have a screen, you have like a screen here, and the person who's talking's face either like around them lights up, or it gets a little bit bigger, whoever's talking. So you just have to be sure, because it's obviously like ran on a database, you know, so it takes a minute sometimes to catch up with what you're saying or doing. So you just kind of have to like be respectful when it comes to the talking, and it's actually speaking back and forth. It's pretty cool. You can hold meetings on it. Like, that's where I'm doing my master classes, and like in my women's group, we are going to start doing a week or a monthly live call on the on Zoom, and you can record it and you know, provide the link or whatever. So it's pretty cool. Emily, I'm working on my gallon a day thing too. Girl, it is really hard for sure. Like, it is not easy. These jugs, I got 2 of these jugs off of Amazon. They were like $9, and it's 75 ounces. So it's a little less. So if you drink 2 of these, it's a little less than a gallon. But I always have a bottle of water before bed, usually like next to the bed, and I'll drink it because I take like a nighttime vitamin or whatever, and I'll drink that with it. So I always at least I've been doing good. It took me a while. My friend Danielle, who is like one of the prettiest people I know, and she is a fitness expert, told me that it takes about 2 weeks at least to start seeing all of the benefits, like to start seeing the results and the difference of drinking all of the water. So like, hold strong. Don't give up. Don't give up. I can send you the link if you want. Like, this little thing in the middle, you can freeze the thing in the middle and it keeps the water. I mean, it keeps it sort of cold, doesn't keep it super cold, but when I was trying to do it with water bottles, it was like impossible for me, because I'd have to get up like every 4 seconds, and I can't do that. I have to keep working. But yeah, so I'm excited for brighter skin. I'm excited for less sleepiness. I'm excited for better joints. Like, oh, my joints are so bad. I feel like a 90-year-old woman. I'm excited for all of it. I cannot freaking wait for all of the benefits. Get rid of some of these dark circles under my eyes. Anyway, we're totally off subject here. Cheers to that. Yeah, I'll find it on Amazon and send you the link because I really do. I like them. They're like, I carry it around with me, and when you close this, like, it doesn't leak at all. I put it in the Jeep, and like, my Jeep's super bouncy. It doesn't do anything. So yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyways, y'all, I'm gonna let you go. I'm gonna put myself to sleep, and I got a busy day tomorrow. I'm excited though. I'm going to this orphanage with Bigfoot tomorrow, with my friend AJ, and I will show you guys. I don't know if you guys follow me on Snapchat. I'm going to be probably Snapchatting most of it because it's hard to Facebook Live, but maybe I will Facebook Live. We shall see. But it should be fun. I'm super excited. So I'll share that with you. It'll be good for my soul. But have a great night, everyone. Thank you for the conversation. It was an amazing, made me feel better, to be honest. I was just sharing what popped into my head, but I've been in a low vibe all day today, so this was really good. You guys are great. Thanks, John. I'll talk to you soon. Please be careful out there. Bye, guys. You're awesome. See ya.